guys, it's Smashley. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. And if it's your first time, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay, as you guys know, if you've been keeping up with my last few videos, I've been decorating my house for Halloween and I swear I'm almost finished. I just have a few finishing touches and of course some more DIY projects. So I thought I would bring you guys along for the final 3 DIY Halloween decorations that are pretty easy that I'm going to be putting up in my house. So a little bit of a contrast to our last video, which was a huge undertaking. Please let me know in the comment section below. If you guys have seen my last video for the Stranger Things decor that we did, let us know how you think we did. And if you haven't seen it, I will link it for you guys above here. But I swear this one's gonna be actually easy. So we're gonna be doing some skulls, some witch hats, some candles. We got the whole 9, so without further ado, let's jump in. For project number 1, I was enjoying fabrics, which I love. You guys know I'm in all of the craft stores all of the time. I got inspired by this really beautiful bejeweled skull. I'll go ahead and insert a picture so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let's just say the thing was overpriced, but the minute I saw it, I was like, I have to recreate it. I absolutely need to. So I have this skull from the Dollar Tree. Also, shout out to the dollar store. I feel like they've really stepped up their craft section for whatever reason, but great timing for me. So I was able to get this skull, of course, for Halloween decor, but a few other items that we needed for this. So before we start to bejewel and bedazzle the skull, I actually wanted to paint it a base color. I'm gonna bring this closer. I think they get these skulls in every single year, and I mean, it's fine. The color's just not my favorite. And you guys know in the last couple videos, I've been doing the whole faux ceramic trick. So I did it in the entryway table decor video. I did it in, I think, one other one. I'll link those for you guys too. But have my big old bag of baking soda, and I'm so happy that I purchased this because it's definitely been, we'll say, well used. So I'm taking my same vanilla mocha leftover paint, and what I wanted to do was just give it a full base coat. I want it to kind of be all one color, but I do want it to have that grip, almost like real bone, not to be creepy. So I'm just gonna put some of the vanilla mocha and some of the baking soda. We're gonna mix that up, and we're gonna do 1 coat first on here. It's probably gonna need 2. And we're just gonna go to town. Again, I just want the entire thing to be completely covered. So, and I wanna give you guys a little bit of an up close. So see what I mean about that like bonish color? When it dries down and it gets like that nice gritty texture. Again, not to be creepy, but it's the vibe. I also really like the baking soda. One of the things that I've realized is by adding it in, the paint itself dries pretty quickly, which is nice. This is what it looks like once it's all dry. I just want you guys to get a good, clear, up-close look of where we're starting. And what I decided to do was get larger jewels off Amazon. I'll link this for you guys at the bottom, but you have to see, this is so pretty. This pack comes with 5 different jewels in all different shapes and sizes. I'm gonna be using the majority of them, but not all. I think I'm gonna leave out maybe these little guys and some of the triangle ones. I don't know. I haven't fully designed how I want this yet, but I know I'm gonna be doing some of the bigger jewels. Some of these maybe over here. And then I made this like really pretty like bronze and gold glass bead mixture. And I did this by using glass beads a glass bead set that I found at the dollar store. So seriously, they totally stepped up their game. And I actually had a bead set that I used for my little wine tags video. So if you guys are interested in that, I can link that as well. But it comes with all different metallic beads. So I just stole some of the bronze and the gold out of here as well. And I mixed them up in this little bottle, and you guys will see why at the end. I think what I want to do is start by applying where I want all of the larger diamonds to go. And I'm going to just be using a glue gun. Again, from the dollar store, they had just really cool gold glitter glue sticks. So I got a bunch of packs of those, and I'm definitely going to be using that. Excuse my nasty painted hands, but. So we're going to be using some of these. These are like that beautiful teardrop shape. These, I'm sure there's a name for it, but I'm just gonna call them, I don't know, asymmetrical or something like that. And I don't know, maybe I will use some of these little guys. I'm just gonna leave them on the side for now. But I know for a fact, I definitely want to have the larger ones. So essentially, the design itself, I almost want it to look like there is a crack made in the skull, and when it cracked, all of these beautiful beads and jewels kind of are coming out of it. So I think I wanna start with about one right here. And I'm gonna be using a mixture of hot glue and then also some E6000. I want you guys to see this really does come out that like really pretty gold glitter. Okay, and we'll take this asymmetrical one, for lack of a better term. We're just gonna stick her on. I think this is as many large jewels that I want to put it down, or that I want to put down. So I'm gonna make the crack in the skull kind of follow this pattern down the side of the face. And that's where this bead mixture is gonna come in. So I think what I want to do is in and around each of the beads, kind of use the E6000 and the hot glue to make the pattern of where I want them. And then I think I'm gonna try my best to dump the beads on and get them to stick down really, really tightly and close to each other. Here's how we're looking so far. I'd say exactly what I'm going for. I just need to find a less messy way to do this. We'll get there. So here's how we're looking, guys. I went ahead and added a trendy little diamond to the tooth. I don't know why, I was just feeling it. But I think it looks pretty close to the original, and honestly, you can totally recreate this for all of $5 if you really wanted to. So highly, highly recommend. Again, I'll put the link to the bigger beads that I used, but pretty much the rest of the stuff you get all at the dollar store, which is even better. All right, for project number 2, I have these tall jar candles. I honestly also got these at the dollar store. They did come with their own wrap on them. I just ripped that off and gave them a quick scrub so that they're not sticky with all that glue residue. And I did that because I want to wrap them in my own vintage Halloween print. So I had a template that I found on Etsy. I mean, why do I always do that? I always confuse Etsy for Pinterest. I found a free template on Pinterest. I will link it for you guys below because I really, really like the quality of how these came out, I have to say. So I want to show you guys kind of what I mean. And I printed these on vellum paper. Vellum paper you guys saw me use in my wedding invitation video, but it's that clear, almost see-through-ish type of paper. And I thought it'd be really cool to just Mod Podge them on and make some vintage looking Halloween candles. So what I'm going to do is, if you notice, each of them comes with this rectangle or outline on the photo itself. I'm just going to cut that to size, and I think I'm only going to Mod Podge the little, everything that's basically inside of that rectangle onto the front of these. So I have my paper cutter. I'm just going to line this up, and we'll cut all of the prints before we Mod Podge them on. So this should be what you're left with. Of course, you can cut these with regular scissors, but this always helps me get it pretty accurate. And the idea is to Mod Podge them onto the front so they kind of end up looking like that. So I'm going to cut the rest of these and then we will get gluing. All of our pictures are cut. Now what I'm going to do is just take one of them, and on the back I'm going to start with some Mod Podge. I just have taking that on a little paintbrush. I also got these from the Dollar Tree. I was not kidding you guys, they've really stepped up their game. And the only reason I'm not starting by doing it on the front, which could also work, is I'm afraid it's going to make some of the ink run if I go over it too many times. So I want to make sure I get a good stick on the back first. Okay, so here is how we're looking. And I think I'm just going to Mod Podge over it now. Maybe just a light layer. Okay. Now I do have some bubbles in here, but to be honest with you guys, I don't really care to get it on there perfect. I kind of enjoy that little creepy looking vibe. I think it adds to it. So I'm just gonna fix this corner for sure. For the last project of the day, we are going to be doing DIY floating witch hats. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I came across it on Pinterest and I absolutely loved it. I didn't necessarily look up a tutorial because it seemed kind of straightforward. I think what they did was using this invisible string or fish string, probably can't see it, or like fishing line. And then I have a needle, obviously my hats, and then the one thing that I kind of added on my side were these fish weights. So they're about 30 grams a piece, but essentially what the floating witch hats are, we're gonna needle through that fish wire and then just tape them to the ceiling and they're gonna hang on their own. I'm putting mine by my door at the front of the house where people are walking in and out, so I don't want all of the wind to kind of make a move. So I thought adding the weights was a good idea, and it's pretty easy. I went ahead and just measured about how long I want the hats to drop down from the ceiling, and it's about 5 feet. The hats themselves are about a foot, so I measured out just 2 pieces of that fish wire to 4 feet at length. On one end, we're gonna tie our needle, and on the other end, we're gonna tie our weight. And these are what the weights look like. I'll link them for you guys, the ones I got off of Amazon, but I loved them because they're like that slender bullet shape almost. I feel like they'll be hidden at the top of the hat. When you tie on the weight also, you just want to triple knot it at the very least. Just because there's obviously a little bit of weight coming off of the string, you don't want it to kind of drop down over time. So now that you have your weight on one side, your needle on the other side, we're gonna pick up our hat. And the needle is gonna go through the underneath of the hat all the way to the tip at the top, and you're gonna just poke your needle through. That's gonna pull the fish string all the way through the top of the hat, and from here you're gonna pitch. You're going to pinch the top of the hat holding onto the weight, and we're going to make a couple knots on the outside of the hat to just make sure that, again, eventually over time the weight doesn't sink down. It kind of stays in place. All that's left is to just cut off the end with the needle, and then you're good. And to hang these, we're just going to use some clear tape, and I'm going to be hanging these to the ceiling. I'll show you guys how we mount them and where we put them. And I'm going to put this on the side and show you guys. Here's how we're looking. I also should mention, I actually have 6 of these hats. I bought a 6-pack off of Amazon, super cheap, highly recommend, and yes, I will link it for you guys below. In terms of project, I kind of inadvertently went from highest level of difficulty to lowest level of difficulty, I feel like. Okay, so let's start from the top down. The skulls, I absolutely think that mine came out a little bit better than the ones at the store. I could just be biased because obviously anything that's designed by Smashley is going to be better for me. So I absolutely love how they came out. Can somebody please, watching this video, recreate it and make me a black matte skull with the same design? I don't know why I didn't think to do a matte one or a teal one. I should have did a teal skull. You guys seriously recreate it at home. They're super cheap, super fun to make, and I think they're beautiful. Honestly, a piece of decor I might even keep around year round. So that was it for the skulls. Okay, moving on to the candles. The vellum wrap itself, it did crinkle up on me. I don't think you'd have that same issue if you use regular printer paper, but I kind of wanted to see how the vellum was gonna do. It ended up giving it this like crinkled, creepy vibe, but I think it went with the vintage look that I wanted anyway, so I was fine with it. But if you guys are gonna recreate that at home, just know that that's kind of what's gonna happen to you as well. And then the witch hats, who doesn't love the witch hats? Honestly, I think that it's such a cool idea and it's so super simple and really, really easy to replicate at home. Of course, I added the weights because of where I'm placing them in the house, but you totally don't even need to. But I thank you guys, as always, so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for all of the love on all the Halloween stuff. I've told you guys a million times, October and Halloween is just my month, and I still have more to come, so make sure your notifications are on. As always, leave us a comment down below, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next one.